This is Little Caesar's Pizza. How can I help you? I'm sorry? Who is this?
A young girl was abducted from her home after school. Police have no leads in the disappearance of 9-year-old Jeannette Tamayo.
You know how we all have a favorite TV show that we're maybe just a little too obsessed with? Well, for 9-year-old Jeannette Tamayo, that obsession was true crime. And in 2003, her love for those crime-solving dramas turned out to be more than just entertainment. It saved her life in a way that still feels unbelievable to this day. Let's set the stage. Jeannette lived a pretty typical life in San Jose, California. She was smart, curious, and loved watching TV with her family. One of her favorite genres? True crime shows like America's Most Wanted and Law & Order. Her family thought it was an odd choice for a kid, but Jeannette was fascinated by the detectives and how they outsmarted the bad guys. Little did anyone know she'd soon find herself in a scenario straight out of those TV scripts. It all began on a sunny June afternoon when Jeannette came home from school. As she opened the door to her house, she was ambushed by a man who had been lurking nearby. The man, later identified as David Montiel Cruz, forced his way inside, tied up Jeannette's mother and brother, and kidnapped Jeannette at knife point. Imagine the sheer terror her family must have felt, helpless as Cruz dragged Jeannette away. For them, it was a nightmare they couldn't wake up from. But for Jeannette, it was the beginning of a dangerous and extraordinary test of courage and wit. Even though she was just a kid, Jeannette stayed calm. She knew panicking wouldn't help. Instead, she started recalling all those episodes of America's Most Wanted. The stories of victims who survived by staying composed and playing along with their captors. She'd been paying attention. It was as if her mind flipped a switch. She wasn't just a scared little girl anymore. She was a strategist, playing a dangerous game of survival. Over the next 24 hours, Jeannette used every trick she'd picked up from her favorite shows. She began subtly building a rapport with Cruz, talking to him in a calm, friendly manner. She acted like she wasn't a threat, just a scared child who wanted to go home. But behind her innocent demeanor, she was gathering every bit of information she could. Her courage and composure in those moments were nothing short of extraordinary. Jeannette strategically started dropping hints about her life, her family's love for her, their strong community ties. She painted a picture of a close-knit family who would stop at nothing to find her. She even mentioned that they watched true crime shows together. Her goal? To humanize herself, to make Cruz see her as more than just a victim. And incredibly, it worked. Cruz, perhaps feeling a twinge of guilt or pressure, began to soften his behavior toward her. What makes this part of the story so incredible is how deliberate Jeannette's actions were. This wasn't luck or coincidence. This was a child who had been learning, even unknowingly, from countless hours of TV, how to read people, manipulate a situation, and keep herself alive. Her bravery wasn't just about staying calm. It was about planning, analyzing, and executing a survival strategy that would have made any detective proud. As the hours passed, Jeannette's observations became sharper. She memorized every detail she could. The layout of the apartment where she was being held, the sound of nearby traffic, the labels on household items, even the faint smells of food that hinted at a nearby restaurant. She noticed what kind of car Cruz drove, the way the sunlight entered the room at a certain angle, and even the sounds of a barking dog from a neighboring building. These weren't just random observations, they were potential clues that could help authorities pinpoint her location. Seriously, who thinks like that at 9 years old? Jeannette's quick thinking was nothing short of astonishing. Throughout her ordeal, Jeannette stayed vigilant. She knew that even one slip could cost her life. Yet, she didn't let fear paralyze her. She used it as fuel. Every small piece of information she gathered felt like a puzzle piece, something that could be used later to outsmart her captor. The next morning, Cruz made a decision that would ultimately seal his fate. Feeling the pressure of holding her captive, he decided to release her. He drove her to a location near her home and warned her not to tell anyone. But Jeannette's mind was already racing. As soon as she was safe, she sprinted to her family and immediately recounted every detail of her ordeal. Her descriptions were astonishingly precise. The apartment, the color of the walls, the type of furniture, the view from the window. She remembered the make and model of Cruz's car and even the exact route he took to drop her off. The police acted quickly, and Jeannette's meticulous memory proved invaluable. Investigators matched her descriptions to an apartment complex near the location where she'd been released. Within hours, they identified Cruz and arrested him. The evidence Jeannette provided was so compelling that Cruz had little room to deny his involvement. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, ensuring he could never harm another child again. And all of it was thanks to the incredible courage and intelligence of a 9-year-old girl. Jeannette's bravery and quick thinking made headlines nationwide. She became a symbol of resilience, a young girl who had not only survived a terrifying ordeal, but had outsmarted her captor in the process. Experts in psychology and law enforcement praised her actions, noting that she had instinctively used techniques that even adults struggle to remember under pressure. And it wasn't just luck. Her ability to stay composed and manipulate her captor was directly inspired by those hours spent watching detectives outwit criminals on TV. Today, Jeannette's story is more than just an incredible tale of survival. It's a testament to the power of staying calm in a crisis and the importance of being observant. Her story has even been used in safety workshops to teach children and adults alike how to respond in dangerous situations. Jeannette's experience is a masterclass in resilience and quick thinking, qualities that turned her from a victim into a hero. As for Jeannette herself, she has moved on from that traumatic chapter, but her story continues to inspire. She's proof that age doesn't determine courage, and that even in the darkest moments, there's room for hope and ingenuity. And for those of us glued to true crime shows, it's validation that maybe, just maybe, our binge watching could serve a real purpose someday. So, the next time someone teases you about your love for detective dramas, just tell them about Jeannette Tamayo. Because in her case, those TV shows weren't just entertainment. They were a lifeline, transforming a frightened little girl into a true hero, and reminding us all of the strength we can find when we need it most. And perhaps there's a lesson for all of us in Jeannette's story. Whether we're 9 or 90, we're capable of incredible things when we trust our instincts, stay calm, and believe in our ability to overcome even the most harrowing of circumstances. In the face of danger, Jeannette Tamayo didn't just survive, she triumphed. And that's the kind of real-life story that even the best true crime shows could only hope to tell. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Until next time.